Hello and welcome back. One question that comes up pretty often is, how do you remove and reinstall the shell extractor in the G43 bolt assembly? The shell extractor, or simply extractor, is this little piece here. It is held in place with a pin, and its purpose is to extract spent shells from the chamber so the ejector can kick it out. In order to work on the bolt assembly, we have to break it down and remove all the parts that we don't need for this operation. So in this case we still have the locking lugs in here, the firing pin carrier. So all that has to go. So let's remove that, because those are all pieces that may fall out and then get lost. So the extractor is held in place with a little pin with a specially shaped head. Looks like a screw, but it's not a screw. But it accepts a screwdriver, and in order to remove the extractor, you have to insert a screwdriver and then turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise and then carefully release it. Now there's a very small pin coming out. You can barely see it. And that very small pin also comes with a very small spring that puts some preload on the pin. And last but not least, here is the extractor. This is the extractor. So taking it apart is pretty easy. Putting it back together, not always. So first, what we should do every time we take this assembly apart, we should clean it out here in the groove, make sure there's no crud, no carbon buildup. We also should look at the face. There's a little cutout here, like a semi-cylindrical cutout. That is where the pin engages, the one that I just removed. That needs to be free of burrs and also very clean, no debris inside. And we also need to inspect the extractor itself, make sure it still has a very good sharp ridge right around here, and make sure it also has no debris and no caked on carbon in the groove. Now, assembly is pretty easy. First we lubricate all the parts as usual, and then we drop in the extractor. That was pretty easy. So now comes the difficult part. Usually the tiny spring that goes into the hole here and the tiny pin don't want to go together very easily. So one problem you will encounter is you push down on the pin, you don't pay attention, it just jumps out, and now you talk about 15 minutes of crawling on the floor trying to find the pin and the spring. So be very careful. So first what you should do, take your screwdriver and align the pin. So when you look very closely, the slot in the pin is not right in the middle, it's a little bit offset. Also, the head of the pin is not round, it has one flat spot. The flat spot has to point towards the opening for the locking lugs. Very important. That's the way to insert it. And now you try to engage the screwdriver into the slot, and now you have to carefully wiggle around. It won't go the first time usually, but you will feel that it overcomes a certain step, and then you can push it all the way down. Now you turn it 90 degrees clockwise. The slot in the pin will now be perpendicular to the axis of the bolt. And push down on it several times, make sure it's really well engaged. Operate the extractor by pushing it outwards. And if that passed the test, you're ready to go. All you need to do is put your bolt back together, insert the locking lugs, and there's a video how to do it right. There are two different locking lugs, so the one with the notch goes to the side where the bolt has a little bit of a nick, and then you insert the firing pin carrier. That didn't work right away. There we go. And now the bolt is ready and can be reassembled and installed into the rifle. Thanks for your time, and I hope I could help you a little bit, and shoot me an email if you have more questions or want to make some suggestions of what kind of video you would like to see next. Thanks.